Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 3rd of January. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. As ever, I'm going to give you a broad overview of what to expect, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep into each of the 12 zodiac signs and share with you your Sun or your Ascendant. It's whatever you wish to watch. So this week begins with Neptune forging a really shimmering but beautiful angle to Venus. And by the end of the week, Venus comes into an exact conjunction with the Sun. Now that's brilliant if we're really wanting to think about something desirable or someone desirable that may be on our radar. With the January sales in full swing, it may be a monetary purchase we're considering. The sign of Capricorn, where Venus is very much about substance, so it may be a big ticket item that we're really drawn towards, or perhaps there's someone that we like that in some ways is quite well off or has some qualities that we really respect and admire. And the connection between Venus and Neptune can be really magical and very spiritual, so a connection doesn't have to happen only in a physical realm. Also this week, Mars, the planet of passion, is caught up in a bit of a tussle with, ironically, Neptune from the middle of the week. So there may be somebody that we're drawn to, perhaps someone who's a little bit more buccaneering or different, and their self-confidence or energy could seem a little bit intimidating. Then again, Venus can soothe this week, but Neptune in its angle with Mars can confuse. So if there is someone we're unsure of, we just need to be a little bit cautious. Now, of course, Mercury has moved into the sign of Aquarius, very much about friendship, very much about future planning, but it is in its pre-shadow period. So we need to micro-check all details to meet up and have fun. But it is true that Mars forges a very energizing link with the Sun. So if your focus is much more on your role in life, anything to do with entrepreneurship, being more go-getting, but in a material way, the Sun is really going to be supportive by the direct desire that Mars brings to the situation. Now, if you're new to my channel, I would be honoured if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. And of course, with year 2022 upon us, if you want to ascend above this zodiac forecast and discover what your personal birth data is showing for this year, you can see my offer beneath this video. You can get a 12-month forecast from the time of order, your character analysis, and 30% off. Gain searing insights. The link is beneath this video now. Hello Taurus, and welcome to your in-depth forecast for week commencing the 3rd of January. Your ruler Venus is truly influential this week. Venus gives you that appreciation, that great taste you have of creature comforts, the earth, nature, anything to do with money if you're a little bit more materially minded. Because Taurus people can be either very connected to a simple and aesthetic influence, or much more into enjoying the good things in life. It's really down to each individual person. But Venus is going to be connecting with the Sun by the end of this week in quite an exact way. So there could be a message you receive from far away this week which really pleases you. Maybe it's going to be the opportunity to travel after all this year. You know, obviously the situation is constantly changing, but I think if your appreciation is of different cultures and expanding your horizons, then that gives you a little bit of a clue of what may really intrigue you. But your friendship sector is now lit up by the arrival of Jupiter. And it is true that Jupiter is forging a square to the North Node now in your sign. That can create a little bit of expectation, particularly when it comes to friendships. And it's probably best to not put too much expectation on someone, because with Mars squaring with Neptune, that can actually be very confusing. Now, Mars is in a part of your horoscope that's very much to do, quite frankly, with lust. So if there is a friend of yours that you're really drawn towards, and it is that person is a little bit different, then that again can be a bit of a clue. And with Venus and Neptune forging quite a magical link, across the first 12 days of this new year, your expectations naturally could be heightened by that. But Mars is about desire, and Neptune can be about disillusion. It can be about confusion. So wherever you're feeling very lusty, whether it's for loot or it is for an intimate connection, just be guided by the fact that Neptune can enchant but also confuse. Now, Mercury has moved right to the top of your chart and is giving you a push to think very seriously about your future forward career prospects. But of course, Uranus in your sign is squaring up with Saturn, also in your sector of career. I think really for this year, it is still going to be very important that you find a good balance between being individual, being true to yourself, but also finding a role that fits your true talents, perhaps in a wider organisation. Now, one of the ways to do that could be through self-employment. You've solved the dilemma very quickly, but then you have to deal with the reality that self-employment, of course, can be hard going and not necessarily so secure. And that's where the stability of Saturn is in that tiff with the restlessness of Uranus in your sign. But what the North Node is going to do for you this year is give you much more encouragement to be individual and true to yourself. And you've got 2 eclipses in your sign, which will also help that process. So there's a lot to go for this week, I feel, and some kind of connection with someone you find quite enchanting, or a destination that really captures your imagination, that you may do a lot of research around, they definitely can be in the mix. But just be conscious that if you are drawn to someone, particularly a friend, and it is quite a sexual connection, that you're really clear about what you might be getting into.